Man, this has been a crazy day. Did y'all get much snow down there?
We got about like a half an inch. It snowed,
Yeah.
but nothing stuck.
We got a good dusting, but the cold.
Yeah. Well, it snowed hard all night, but it didn't stick.
Yeah.
It's been right around 30 all day today, and I went to Lowe's and Walmart and
all the good stuff.
I didn't do much today. Just went and did a couple of necessity errands, and then I came right back home. So, like I told you before, I'm making me some chicken noodle soup for dinner tonight.
Good stuff.
Yes, sir.
Man.
Yes, sir.
I don't know if I want chicken noodle soup. What do I want? I want something else.
It was either chili. I was either gonna make chili because every wintertime I have to make the typical wintertime foods. So I cook a lot, especially living out here. My wife lives in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, and I live here in Nashville, so I have to do most of my own cooking these days. Yeah, so I've got pretty good at it.
It's better to cook at home than it is to go out with these prices.
It is, man. I mean, everything's expensive, but it's but you end up you can eat on that all. I can eat on what I make all week, you know.
Well, some of us we have to wait till Friday to get the steak, and the rest hot dogs.
right, grilled cheese sandwiches.
But if you're in the music business, you got a day job anyway, so
you know how it is, man. You know how it is.
That's the way it is. Everybody, I totally forgot to say my openings, but I'm going to say my openings. December 7th, Ablaze Entertainment. Go to ablazeentertainment.net. They're doing an auction to help out a bunch of misfortunate people. December 16th, I will be at Christmas for Kids over here in Hendersonville. There's all kinds of people, all kinds of artists show up. We all got the buses loaded down. Everybody's there, and it's all for the kids. So y'all come out, visit the buses, see what the star buses, the crew buses, the production buses, all that stuff. It's really fascinating to just come see them. And of course, every bus has an artist on there. I don't know if I'm an artist or not, but I'll be on one of them. So
that's awesome, man.
It's a good stuff. And we have Mr. Trey Calloway.
How you doing, David? Good to be here, buddy.
I'm tired.
Hey, me too, man. I think I'm in a perpetual state of that, but
yeah,
I'm in high spirits. Spirits.
I had a buddy of mine at work. He asked me, he said, "How was your Thanksgiving?" And I said, "Well, Thanksgiving, I made the rounds, seen the people that I was supposed to see, hung out with some family, ate some food.
Yeah.
Hey, so
passed out for about 2 hours.
What'd you do over the weekend?" And I said, slept.
Yeah.
I laid around and I snoozed.
Yeah. That sounds like a good plan, man. I was in so I'm originally from North Carolina, so I went back home for Thanksgiving. And but I do a lot of the cooking. My dad does the turkey, and my mom does most of the sides, the mac and cheese and the sweet potato casserole and all that good stuff.
Yeah.
But I made giblet gravy. I don't think that's popular anymore, but we still make giblet gravy in my family.
Well,
but I make brown gravy too for the people that don't like giblets.
Well, what I was going to say is a lot of people don't actually know how to make giblet gravy anymore. They were too busy out running around and having fun instead of watching grandma cook.
Well, before my mama passed away, I was very interested in her recipes that she always made. So I made her dictate to me her recipes. So I've got them all in my phone written down. I actually I can't remember what other news outlet reached out to us. So they wanted one of my favorite recipes. So I sent them my Mama Lynn's giblet gravy. So it got printed. So, but I said, make sure you call this Trey Calloway's Mama's giblet gravy. So I want to give her the credit. But
we both had a memo.
Oh, absolutely, man, absolutely. Well, I home make the stock.
Yeah.
So I take the giblets and a bunch of different spices and stuff, and I make the homemade stock the night before. And man, that's the secret right there. But yeah, it turned out good this year.
We'll see. A lot of people, if they can't make it in 5 minutes or less, they won't mess with it.
Exactly. I mean, it's good cooking like that takes time. It takes time, and you can get by. You can cheat and use chicken stock or something like that, but it ain't the same.
Well, it's like spaghetti. Spaghetti, you're supposed to make your sauce the day before.
Oh yeah.
And let it cook and simmer.
Yes, sir.
And then cook again. And I mean,
Yes,
it's just nobody does that stuff.
And I made some collard greens, some giblet gravy. I made a corn casserole.
Look, I ain't ate yet. All right.
It was good. It was good, man. Oh, it was good. And then I made two. So I got a question for you. Is it pecan or pecan, David?
I always call it pecan.
It's pecan. I say pecan.
We're
weirdos that say pecan in North Carolina, I guess.
Well,
but my wife gives me a hard time. She's from Ohio. She said it's pecan. It's pecan. So I don't know.
Actually, in Tennessee, you've got that different. There's a line down through there somewhere.
Yeah. Well, I think any given day, I mean, it's you can just call it whatever, But they turned out good. It was the first time I'd ever tried to make pecan pies, and they turned out really good.
Well, I mean, I was at the grocery store and I was getting some stuff, and the guy behind me and his wife were carrying on a conversation, you know. And I looked at them both and I said, "Well, you have a happy Thanksgiving."
Yeah.
And both
makes perfect sense.
What did you say?
Makes perfect sense. I understood you.
Ewan's?
Yeah.
What is Ewan's? And I'm like, oh my God.
It's a fun way to say, y'all, you guys. But so when I first started dating my wife, like I said, she's from Ohio, and they say a thing that's kind of like y'all. It's like you guys's. They say you guys's. What do you guys's want for dinner? And it's very Midwestern sounding when they say it.
Yeah, I got family in Chicago, and that's what they say.
Yeah, it took me some getting used to. You guys's.
Yeah.
So it took me a while to get used to that, but it's just like their version of y'all. It's all the same.
Well, see, I'm over here. I was born and raised in Nashville, and I was always y'all.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But I had a buddy of mine that lived out towards Crossville.
And it was Ewan's.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And Yorn.
Yeah. And Yorn. Yeah. That's old school. Yorn. I don't say Yorn, but I would. I mean, maybe we ought to bring it back, David. I don't know.
We need to. I mean,
I think we should, man.
It's Yorn's, not mine.
Well, see, I remember growing up, my great grandpa, I got a lot of my Southern colloquialisms from him. Yeah. He used to say over yonder a lot. That was the one I really remember. Was he said over yonder a lot. Yeah. That always made me smile. Cause like, where is that, Papa? Where's over yonder? It's just, it's over there.
That's what my granddaddy would tell me. I mean, he had like a mulch bed. Yeah. And that's where he grew his night crawlers at.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
And I remember him telling me, go over there and get the bucket. And I said, over there. He said, yeah, right around yonder.
Right around yonder.
Right around yonder.
Around
and I'm just bend. Like, where's yonder, Granddad?
Yeah, nobody knows. I think that's the secret. I think that's the mystery, David. Nobody really knows where yonder is. Maybe there's a song in there somewhere. I don't know. There sounds like a hook of a song in there somewhere.
I went looking for her love, but it was way over yonder.
What's that? Nobody knows where that is. And nobody knows where that is. I'm going to write that down. I'll credit you as a writer, David. We're right.
We just need a hook now. We'll be good.
That's it. That's it, man. That's it. This sounds great.
Oh, Lord. I was telling somebody else the other day. We was actually doing a show. The bad part about it is I can't remember who I told. That's going to haunt me now.
What? We'll figure it out. When you figure it out, let me know.
I'm going to get my butt kicked over that one. But anyway, I told them, in case anybody else hasn't noticed, there is a slew of songs out there, and it's all about the man ain't worth crap.
Oh yeah.
Deadbeat dad. Cheating, lying. The chick in the song is tore his 4-wheel drive up, and he's done this and done that.
Oh yeah.
and let's don't forget the Broadway cowboy thing.
Yeah. Right.
I want an old 80s style ballad.
Yeah.
But I want it sung from the girl's perspective, talking about how great her man is.
Yeah, like another Stand By Your Man kind of thing.
Because people, they're hearing all these songs and they're not understanding there are great men out here.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
But you can't get to them because of the flood of the putting the guy down.
Well, and it's popular now. I mean, I reckon it's popular now to the more wild and crazy and I guess ratchet's a good word, ratchet you act, then the more popular you get, especially on social media, because nobody wants to see somebody who's wholesome and you know, kind-hearted. They want to see drama. They want to see
well, if they got drama, I mean, I'm good with
just
drama.
Come find me.
I got 3 ex-wives and a slew of ex-girlfriends. I got drama. How much drama you want, baby?
Man, that's a good question. I don't know how much I need these days. I don't know, man. But
oh my God, that's another song.
Oh, absolutely.
How
well, that's where the
drama?
best songs come from, David. The best songs that I've ever written were in the middle of conversation, just saying something off the cuff, and it, you know, just being
how
memorable.
much drama can you take?
Yep. I like it.
That's crazy.
I like it, man.
Break out the napkins, by God.
Yes, sir.
We're gonna write this on a napkin.
They told me I was going to enjoy this one. I'm really enjoying this one with you.
Oh Lord.
So you live in Nashville. You live in Hendersonville, you said?
No, I live in Portland, Tennessee.
Okay. I'm not sure exactly where that's. How far away out of Nashville is that?
Go straight up 65, 32 miles north of Nashville. I'm right up here next to the Kentucky line.
So not far.
Not far.
Okay.
Now, if you're downtown Nashville to my house is about 45 minutes. Is that right, Caitlin?
Well, today it took me 2 hours.
Well, yeah, Caitlin had a lot of car wrecks and stuff. She was messing them.
It was great.
I come back from North Carolina yesterday. I just got back in, and traffic was pretty bad. They were calling it like the worst travel or the second worst travel day.
Yeah.
Holidays. I guess everybody wanted to hang out wherever they were for a couple more days before they went home. But because of the storm that hit North Carolina, man, a part of 40 is shut down right now. So it takes you way out of the way, and it's really beautiful and really scenic. But it's those little towns that the roads are going through are not really built to handle all that traffic. So it's you gotta leave way early if you want to get there on time. You got to leave real early. But they're doing a tremendous job of rebuilding it already. When I go through there, those people are so resilient. They've cleaned up those towns, and they're really doing a good job. So I'm proud of my home state. I'm proud of North Carolina.
Without anybody's help either. They're doing it on their own.
Yes, sir. But I think that's a perfect example of the true American spirit.
Right.
That resiliency.
Well, I've told somebody else, only thing it takes is one big thing, and people will stand together more than anybody else has ever even thought of.
Amen, buddy. Yes, sir. I couldn't agree more. I could not agree more, buddy.
Was any of your family affected?
Well, so I had some families whose houses got flooded. Nothing real bad.
Yeah.
So my family's from the central part, from the foothills. I've got my family roots traced back to the mountains of North Carolina, but most of my kin that live up that way, I don't know all that well anymore. There's still Callaways that live up there, but I don't know them all that well. Most of the bad weather hit that western part really hard. I mean, there are towns that were just gone. So no, all in all, most of my family was pretty unscathed. So I count that as a blessing. But
yeah, definitely.
A lot of people weren't as lucky, man.
Well, I mean, there's still people that they haven't found yet.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
It's just crazy.
I know, man. It is. It really is.
Oh Lord.
Yes, sir.
Well, I mean, I guess me and you need to talk about your music a little bit.
Man, I'll talk to you as long as you want about whatever you want to talk about, David. I knew it from the second that you came on. I was like, this is going to be a fun one.
I don't know about fun, but we'll try to, give her all we can anyway.
That sounds good, David.
It's just, to me, one thing that's missing in a lot of things is just some people laid back, sitting around grandma's table and having a conversation. And
out.
I'm laid back anyway. I don't give a shit.
Yeah, I try to be. I've gotten more laid back. You know, I was pretty wild in my teens and my early 20s. I was pretty wild, but now I've chilled out a little bit.
Well, yeah,
I'm kind of just focused. I'm just focused. I think that's what it was. I had to be what it was, man. Well, I became a father at a really, really young age.
Yeah.
So that kind of chilled me out too.
Yeah, it will.
It did. It did. Now I'm the one who worries. My dad was worried about me back then, and now I'm the one who worries. So.
Yeah, I was kind of like you. I was a wild child. Got married. 7 years later, got divorced. Turned back into a wild child.
Yeah.
But then got custody of my kids.
Yeah.
And
that's good, man. That's really good.
That'll grow you up real quick.
Oh yeah. Well, you know, I mean, I remember it almost was like day and night when my son's name is Cash, and when he was born, it went from being, you know, you go from being the most important person to yourself to number two. There's somebody else in your life who's more important than you are to yourself, and that was a big transition for me. That took me, but I remember feeling that feeling immediately.
Oh yeah.
But it still takes some time to adjust to it, and the anxiety and the pressures that come with parenthood are stressful. But you know, you learn to cope. You know, there's no rule book to parenting.
There's you know, I kind of wished some of those old timers had actually wrote some stuff down.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Because I'll be the first one to tell you that Dr. Spock book needs to be burned, because none of that crap in that book makes any damn sense. And
I don't even know what you're talking about. What book is this? I don't know what this is.
Dr. Spock, a long time ago, he wrote a book on how to raise your kids. He's the one that started that put them in a corner and timeout crap.
Oh, no. Timeout never worked for my son. Timeout just didn't work.
I gave my son timeout, and the only thing he did was contemplate what to get in next.
Yep. Oh yeah, man. Oh yeah. Well, you know, I can't say so many times I see the things he does and I see myself in him. Mm-hmm. And so I have a hard time, you know, I'm not going to blow up and yell at him and fuss stuff, but I try to sit him down and have a really serious conversation. You know, he's 10 years old, but I still try to talk to him like a grown up, not a grown up, but you know what I mean. I try to have very mature conversations with him about what he's doing.
Yeah.
And 9 times out of 10, he's really smart. 9 times out of 10, he'll really listen to me. I've been blessed. He's a good kid right now.
Well, see,
he's
dad,
about 3 years away from that teenage age, and we'll see what happens.
My dad, he had a way, and literally, I can tell you, 3 times he spanked me.
Oh yeah.
Just 3 times.
Yeah. I haven't spanked Cash in a long, long time.
But he had that way of talking to me.
Yeah.
And it was come here, sit down.
Yeah.
Listen to me.
Yeah.
Do you know where you screwed up?
Yeah.
You know?
I think that's the most important question to ask him is, do you know why I'm upset with you? Do you know what you did wrong? And 99% of the time, he knows exactly what he did.
Yeah.
You know? And he's hard on himself. When he disappoints me, he feels bad about it. So
I cried more with him just talking to me than I ever cried when he paddled me.
Oh yeah. I mean, because when my dad, I got spankings a lot when I was a kid. When I got spanked, I shook it off and it hurt. But 3 minutes later, I was like, oh, what can I do next? You know? Yeah. So I don't know. I don't know how much I think it works. You know what I'm saying? But I turned out pretty good.
Oh yeah.
So maybe something Dad did there. I definitely had the greatest mom and dad ever. I mean, you know, my mom and dad are saints. You know, I'm lucky to have them. So, but I don't know if it was the spanking or just feeling bad about letting my dad down.
Yeah.
Probably a mix of both.
Yeah. Well, you know, it had to be. It had to be.
Yeah.
Welcome to the David Bradley Show. We're here with Kid Talk with David.
Right. I don't know if I'm the guy to give parenting advice, but you know, I'll tell you what's worked for me. I'll do my best.
Well, yeah. I mean, you know, it's Mm. But that's all you had back in the old days, you know. It was 'cause you remember when you was out and Joe Bob's mama, 15 houses down, had the right to spank your butt all the way back to your house.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
And now it's like,
and the school principals back in the day could wear you out and stuff.
That used to bug the crap out of me. My mom would sign off quick on that. You have the authority to spank my child at school.
Yeah. My dad used to tell stories. My dad tells me stories about his grandma, my great grandma, Cora Lee, making him go pick a switch off a tree.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So I never got a switch. I always got the belt. It was always Dad's belt.
Only thing I can tell you is if you went out there and you got a switch that was about that long.
Yeah. You're just going out to pick another one.
She was walking out there with you to make sure you picked one that freaking long.
Yeah, a big one. Yeah.
And you better strip all the leaves off except for the very tip.
Yeah.
And those were the ones that would strap them legs. Oh my God.
Oh yeah. See, I never got the switch, or not that I can remember. I don't remember really. I don't think
I got to switch so much. I started to feel like Pinocchio in my legs.
See, we were Pentecostal when I was growing up, so my dad always wore this really nice leather belt, and that was
one of them good thickens.
Yes, and it was not. Yeah, I remember the worst. I remember the worst spanking I ever got. I did something really bad. I can't remember what it was, but man, my dad was like, "You got 5 minutes to go put on every pair of underwear you own," and that's what I did. It still hurt. I
can't believe he gave you a chance.
I know he was going. You know, that was one of the last times I can remember him spanking me.
Yeah,
that's one of the last times I think he started feeling bad. I think he started feeling bad about it. So, oh man, it's cool to talk about real life stuff, and on in these kind of interviews, it's really fun to talk about real life stuff. You know what I mean? Because we all go through it. You know, we're all really the same at the end of the day. You know.
Well, I mean, you know, it's. I've told a lot of people because, you know, I've had friends, you know, be like, what was it like talking to so and so and blah 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 and how were they and all this other stuff and my best analogy of all of it, and this is exactly what I tell them. Look, everybody I talk to is just like everybody else.
Yeah.
When they go put their underwear on, if they miss the hole, they're going to fall on the floor like everybody else.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, especially country artists.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, for me, this is, you know, people ask, you know, I've had people say, you know, you ain't country. And I'm just what I am.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just what I am, you know, and I don't know if I'm countryer than the next guy. I just feel country. I feel like a country guy.
Well, you should have a taste of Appalachia in your blood.
Well, for me, I've got a mix of all kinds of different stuff. It's like the bluegrass and the North Carolina part, and then, you know, I lived in Myrtle Beach for a while, and it was the beach music and the country music down there and stuff. You need it like the Bowery. I had a lot of music, and the gospel music was a big influence on my music career too.
Right.
You know, because I grew up Pentecostal, so it was gospel quartets, and then we listened to contemporary gospel as well. Stephen Curtis Chapman and Mark Schultz, I was a big fan, and there was a band called Third Day I really liked. Mac Powell was the lead singer of that band.
Yeah,
I actually saw him at the Opry a couple of weeks ago. He's a solo artist now, and he came out there and did some of the old hits of theirs.
Yeah,
it just sounds better than ever. I mean,
I liked a lot of the old country, you know, Jones and stuff like that. Oh, yeah. But then Shenandoah came out.
Oh yeah, I love Shenandoah.
And I was just like, oh my God, because they had a string of hits, dude.
Yeah.
And then Exile came out, and all these other bands started coming out, and I was like, shit, I was loving it. But
well, George Jones is part of the religion in my house.
Oh yeah,
in my dad's house.
Well,
that's my dad's favorite country singer. My dad always tells me I'm his second favorite country singer.
There you go.
George Jones, and I'm okay. I'm okay being second fiddle to George. That's all right.
You're a little bit younger than me, but when we used to get out of school and stuff, we was out four-wheeling and doing stuff. Yeah. But one of the things we always had four-wheeling was them speakers would be blasting out some good old Hank Williams Jr.
Oh
man.
yeah, my dad loves Hank Jr. My dad saw Hank Jr. in it was one of his tours in the 80s.
Oh, that was back when he was winning Tour of the Year.
He said Hank Jr. came out one night so drunk, kicked the whole band off the stage, and played the whole show by himself acoustic.
Yeah.
And he said he rocked it. It was awesome. I mean, his band was pissed off that they had to take the night. Well, maybe they weren't pissed off. They probably were like, "Hey, we got the night off. Let's just go back here and
they might have got out in the audience, man. Who knows?
Right.
I mean,
I think if I'm not mistaken, I saw an interview with him. He had some kind of big tour with Chris Stapleton recently or something, or he's going on tour.
Yeah.
Going on tour with Chris Stapleton or something. Maybe he already did or he is. It was a little reel I saw. And, he's in the running, or like Rolling Stones called it like the tour to go see or something. I mean, So to do that at his age is such a testament to his staying power as an artist. It's incredible.
It's amazing to me because I think he's toned down some.
Oh yeah.
The
Well,
wildness.
he probably can't raise hell like he did before. I mean, he like physically can't do it anymore. That's what happened to my grandpa. He had to stop,
Oh yeah, but to get out there and pick and sing, the man still got it.
Oh yeah. Well, actually, there's a song on my next album about Hank Jr. So
sweet.
Yeah, so there's going to be a song on the next album about Hank. So we're really cool. We're really excited about that one.
You couldn't get him to sing on it?
Well, so my producer and I talked about it. Apparently, you gotta if Hank comes on your song, it's you gotta give him a lot of the songwriter royalties or something. There's some kind of thing.
There's some red tape.
There's some kind of thing with him where you got to pay the Pied Piper. But I mean, he's Hank Jr. So.
Well, I mean, I wonder how many songs he's actually wrote with other people that he actually never did himself.
Well, there's a bunch of them, I'm sure. Yeah. There's a bunch of artists who write songs for other people you never know they wrote. Too.
Yeah, I know. That's one thing, and I would like to, if there's any way you could dig in and find out, how many, who did what on what album.
Yeah. Oh yeah. When you really dig deep into the way this town, when you really kind of start figuring out how Nashville works, it's pretty cool. I mean, there are songs that are big hits from other artists that they didn't write and they didn't have nothing to do with writing. They just basically like, hey, this is a really good song. We think you should cut it. Some of the songs on my next album I didn't write. It's actually the first album I'm ever doing with some outside cuts on it. So 2 of them, we did 6 already, and 4 of them I did not write. 2 of them I did write. But the one about Hank Jr. I did write.
Yeah.
So
that's awesome.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
When are you going to drop it?
Well, we don't know. We don't really have a date. We've got the Wanted Man album just came out, and it's doing really good. And then we got some singles that are kind of we're going to be releasing. And then when the album is done, we're going to start marketing that new album. So probably sometime in the spring. That's what.
Well, when you start marketing it, I'll see it, and then I'll start sharing the crap out of it.
Thank you, David. Appreciate you, buddy.
Yeah, I mean, no biggie, man. I mean, I try to support everybody I can get on the show.
Yeah.
Well,
man, this is fun. Doing this with you is fun, man. I hope you have me back.
This is something that Nashville used to be back in the day. It was everybody helped out everybody.
Oh yeah. Well, it's still that way. I mean, Nashville's all about kind of finding your group of people that got your back. It's
your circle.
Yeah. Yeah. And the thing about it is there's so many people here now trying to do this that you can't be friends with everybody. It's impossible to get acquainted with everybody, but you find your group of people that you love and that love you back, and you do it together. I've been fortunate. I've been here for about 3 years now. And I'm finally starting to make that group, that circle.
Yeah.
It takes time. It takes time.
I'll tell you another one you need to add to your group.
Who's that?
Justin Love.
Oh, Justin Love's my boy.
Justin is
man. I love Justin. Yeah, absolutely. Justin and I were supposed to write about a week or two ago. It was like right before I went out of town for Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
But he had a work emergency come up and he had to reschedule it with me. So we're getting back together pretty soon. But Justin's a great writer.
Yeah,
he and I run in the same circles around town, kind of.
Yeah.
A lot of his friends are friends of mine and vice versa.
Well, when I first kicked off the podcast, and it was CMA Fest was coming up.
Yeah.
The lady that owned Nash Fox Studios let me set up.
That's his Pubco.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure.
And she let me set up upstairs.
Yeah.
And I had Justin on the show.
Yeah.
We did a bunch of artists in like 3 or 4 days. And just him sitting there on the show and singing.
Yeah.
And the way he is.
He's great.
And the energy that kid brings to the stage.
Absolutely. I'm going to have to text him here in a little bit and tell him you said hi.
Hey, I'll tell you what, we were down at, where was we at? We were at the listening room.
Yeah.
And it was like 5 or 6 people on stage.
Yeah.
And Justin's up there.
Yeah.
And he's singing a song. And you could hear the audience kind of quietening down, a little bit.
Yeah.
Actually listening.
Oh, yeah.
And he leaned back and belted out one of those, whoa! And I was like, oh, damn, there he is. There he is.
That's awesome, man. I'll probably see him on Friday. He comes out to see me at the local on Friday a good bit. So if I see him this Friday, I'll tell him you said, hey, man, I love Justin to death. I've actually, Justin's one of the ones I've known probably the longest out here. He's doing really good. I'm trying to think of the next time I'll see him. Probably Friday. I'll probably see him Friday.
The way he writes is just phenomenal.
Oh yeah, no doubt about it. Well, see, that's the thing about this town. It's like I could name you a bunch of artists right now that I feel like are part of this kind of underground guys and girls who are making their own way and doing their own thing. And obviously I feel like country, as far as authentic country music, is kind of making a comeback right now. Right. I hope it stays in country's like a pendulum. It swings back and forth every decade or so. It goes real poppy and then it goes back to being country again. And so I kind of feel like me and Justin and a lot of those guys are coming around at the right time. Where country sounding the way we want it to sound again. And this new the Wanted Man album has some poppy sounding stuff on it, but it's got some really country sounding stuff to it. Cause I like both, I never wanted to be a flag waver for any kind of, for telling an artist, you got to sound like this, or you got to do this. I think you should make the kind of music that speaks to your heart. So,
well, see, that's where I think when Jason Aldean popped on the scene, he had that foreigner rock going on.
Oh yeah.
And it was something that nobody had heard in country.
Absolutely. Well, and I think that rock thing kind of morphed into the bro country thing. Yeah. I consider the first bro country song ever to be Honky Tonk Badonka Donk.
Yeah.
I think that was the song that people looked back and said, here's kind of like a dance club mix type of song that goes well if you put a beat. If you remix it with a beat, this song really rocks, and it's a good song. Mm-hmm. And that song is great. It's a great song. It was written by Jamie Johnson and Randy Houser, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
So 2 of the country's guys ever wrote that song.
And then Trey Atkins sang it, didn't he?
Trey Atkins was the artist that cut it. Yes, sir. So I think that he was. I call that the first bro country song. And then you had the My Kind of Party album come out, and Dirt Road Anthem, and then Country Girl Shake It For Me, and then Florida Georgia Line, and it all went from there, man.
I'll tell you a secret. Remember, he did that video, the Dirt Road Anthem.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Where he's standing on that dirt road.
Yeah, but remember when it got to that like little parking lot with a white fence?
Maybe so. I had to go back and rewatch it, but I'm pretty sure I know what you're talking about.
Go back and watch it.
I've seen that video a bunch of times.
I remember 17 years old with a nice lady that I was dating at the time.
Yeah.
That was one of our parking spots. When I seen that, I was like, holy shit.
Oh, that's pretty cool, man. That's pretty cool. Well, there's all kinds of little secret spots around Nashville, and that's
yeah.
where all the country music stuff gets shot. When you really delve into where this was, that's really cool, man. We did a photo shoot for the Forgotten Man album cover. It was out on this farm that's nearby here, about 20 minutes out of town. I can't remember the name of it. I'll find out and let you know. But it's where apparently a bunch of music videos and all kinds of stuff have been shot out there.
That would be Greenbrier.
It probably. Yeah, we did the Forgotten Man, all the album cover and all the press stuff for Forgotten Man out there. So
I've actually got a buddy of mine. He lives in it's kind of Greenbrier, kind of Springfield. It's right there in between.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
And he's got 100 acres out there.
Yeah, it's cool, man. It's really cool out there. Apparently, I didn't even know when we went out there. I'm like, oh, we found this secret spot. But it wasn't a secret. It wasn't a secret,
It ain't that secret because we've been out at that farm a lot.
Well, that's me. I'm the guy who I'm always the last one to the party, and then everybody's like, "Oh, you didn't know about this place?" Everybody knows about this place, but it was really cool, man. And the guy that owns it was super nice too. He said we can come out there anytime. He said, "Y'all just let me know when you want to come out here and do another one."
Yeah. Well, we one of the places that we all kind of grew up on, and that was a buddy of mine, his granddaddy's farm.
Yeah.
He had 100 acres and it was right there in Goodlettsville.
Yeah.
He's passed away since then. And, the farm went through the family and everything. Yeah. But Garsh just right on the other side.
Really? He's just right next to him?
Yeah.
That's cool, man. Hopefully I'll have one of them out there one of these days. That's my ultimate goal, is buy myself a little bit of land and just build my mom and daddy a house. Maybe my in-laws too, if they want to come live out there with us. And
have remote control M50s at the entrance.
Yeah. Who goes there? No.
Have you seen
I build myself a little fishing. I'd probably buy myself a little fishing pond and build myself a little fishing pond.
The one in Goodlettsville's got 3 ponds on it.
Yeah, the fishing pond is the big part of it. Maybe a gun range too, if I can.
So you love to get out there and fish, eh?
Oh yeah. I'm not much of a hunter.
I can't hunt no more.
Well, the thing I try to explain with me and hunting. Okay, one, I'm a musician, a full-time musician.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not getting up at 4 a.m. I'm going to bed at 4 a.m. I'm not getting up at 4 a.m. to spray deer urine on my boots and all over myself and go into the deer stand. Much respect to people who enjoy doing that.
My hat's off to them.
I think it's great. I've been hunting. I enjoyed it. It was way early and I was cold. But fishing for me has always been my favorite pastime. Fishing for me is where I'm happy. And another thing I was going to say about the hunting is you got to grow up with some land. I never grew up with land. I grew up in a trailer park in Lucia, North Carolina, in Stanley, North Carolina. So I never had nowhere to go hunt. Now, if I ever get a little bit of money, I might change my tune and then start enjoying hunting. I think that'd be pretty fun. And everybody's like, you got to have a buddy with some land. And I'm like, well, I don't have any rich buddies either.
Yeah, it didn't matter if they were rich or not. It was there's a lot of land that's been handed down,
Oh yeah.
And my dad had a lot of land that we could go hunt on.
Yeah.
But it was, dude, I was raised off Trinity Lane down there.
Yeah. I think if I had grown up, in it, I probably would enjoy it.
Yeah.
I think it's probably something I would enjoy if I started actually. See, the Callaways have the love of the guns. We love guns.
Yeah.
We're like self-defense guys. We're like gun range nuts and stuff like that, but we're not really big hunters. So I don't know. Maybe if I get a little bit of money, maybe I might change that, David.
Well, see, the only thing I don't like about the gun ranges, though, is you can't go out there and do 1,300-yard shots.
Yeah. Oh, if I build myself a gun range, I'm going to build myself a big outdoor one. That's
I'm
going to build myself a big one where I can do all kinds of stuff.
So I'm one of them guys. I like close up, shooting, handgun, all that other stuff. But you give me a daggone rifle.
Yep.
I want to see how far I can go.
Yeah, exactly. I knew we was going to be buddies, David. I knew we was going to be buddies.
Hey, I still got. No, I can't say that. I'll say that off.
All right, sounds good, buddy. I don't want to get you in trouble. Man.
Well, you never know who's listening, so
You never know. You never know, man. You never know.
So where are you usually at on Friday nights?
So I play every Friday night at the local Nashville. So there's 2 locals now. There's one up in Hendersonville now.
Yeah.
And I play at the one on in Nashville on Friday night. We start at 10:30, and then on Sunday I do the new local, the one in Hendersonville, and that's at 5 o'clock. We go from 5 to 8 p.m. That's an acoustic trio, and that's a really good. They're both great gigs. I have a lot of fun. But
okay, so you'll see me on Sunday then.
Come on out, man.
On one given Sunday, you're gonna look up. My smiling ass is gonna be out there.
You gonna get up there and jam with us?
I can't play. I can't sing. What do you want me to do? You got?
It's okay. You're with the band.
You got a tambourine?
We sure do, brother. We sure do, brother. So you're with the band, man. You're good.
Hey, I was at this daggum thing that Linda Purr did for Gallatin, Tennessee, and it was on a Saturday. They invited the podcast out, so we went out there and done the podcast. But they were doing music at the Palace Theater, which is one of the oldest theaters around.
Oh yeah.
And you could do meet and greets with the artist and all that other stuff. Dawn Ricks was on my show, and she said, "Hey, if I give you a shirt, will you wear it on the air one day?" And I said, "Sure." So this is the third show, Dawn, that I've done today with your shirt on.
Is that shirt? Is that the shirt?
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
It's
a good looking shirt, man.
Yeah, I know. It's got Dawn Ricks at the very bottom.
Yeah, I couldn't see. It's cut off. I couldn't see the name. All I can see is the
well, that's what I liked about it, because it says it's okay. I'm with the band.
I like that, man. I like
you
that.
You never freaking know. Dude, you got to tell me, because I can't keep you much longer, because you know who will be kicking my butt. Christmas with You.
Yeah.
Now, you want to talk about some deep feelings in that one, son.
Yeah, man. I'm proud of that song. Thank you, sir.
Did you write it for that special lady?
Well, I did. It's definitely some semi-biographical songs. See, I always like to. A lot of my songs come from a beginning of something truthful.
Right.
Then I try to be a storyteller, and I try to embellish it. I try to make it, in a perfect world, what would this be like? I love the old school storytelling country songs.
Right.
I don't think that's done enough anymore. The Ponchos and Lefties, and the Bobby McGee's and that sort of thing,
Yeah.
So, or the Boy Named Sue's. I love those storytelling songs, but Christmas with You is definitely about, because, my wife and I have been living apart now for about 3 years while I've been out here in Nashville trying to do this. And she's holding down the fort in Myrtle Beach. We have a house there, and she's living there, and I have an apartment out here. So it's been really tough on us, but the song also is kind of meant to be about anybody who's out on the road working, anybody that's got to be away from their family and their loved ones during the holidays. So truck drivers, or military personnel. Truck drivers is probably the biggest one that came to my mind when we first finished the song.
Well, see, that's the big I guess that's probably why it resonated with me so well, because 40 years I've been in the music industry.
Yeah.
When it's always been the lights, the sound, stuff like that.
Yeah.
But a lot of it was on the weekends.
Yeah.
Monday through Friday, I was out on them roads, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
Driving an old truck.
Yeah. So I'm really glad that you like the song, because we wanted a song for the people who have to be gone from the ones they love, So I wrote that one. I wrote it with J.P. Williams, a great buddy of mine. He actually wrote Horses in Heaven with he and I have written a bunch of songs together.
Right.
But I had a recording session where they were wanting me to do a Christmas song in 2 days. And I'd been so busy that I hadn't gotten to make any plans for writing a song. I knew I needed a Christmas song, but and I really wanted to write it. So I called up JP and I said, "Hey man, I really feel like you're the guy to help me do this." And I went over there and we wrote the song in about probably an hour, man. It came out really fast.
Wow.
And we both had a lot to do with the song becoming what it was. We both had ideas and we pitched in, and it wasn't. It was very fluid. He's a great songwriter, and we went and recorded it with Grady Saxman, and it turned out really good. I'm really proud of it, and people are responding well to it. It's a Christmas song, but it don't feel necessarily just like a Christmas song. I think it's a song you can just listen to if you're missing somebody special.
Yeah.
I appreciate your kind words, David. That means a lot to me, buddy.
Yeah, because that's stuff that has something, a storyline to it and stuff like that, that says something about that working class American that's out there running those roads and doing those things. They really hit home with me. That's like Jason Aldean's song, This I Gotta See.
Oh, yeah.
I was really
Asphalt Cowboy. You remember that one?
Yeah.
That was
I was really surprised that, This I Gotta See didn't go on up the charts further than what it did.
Yeah. I don't think, did he release it as a single?
Yeah.
I don't think he did.
He might have. No, it was on his album. It was on the album.
Yeah, I don't think This I Gotta See was ever a single, which is a crying shame. You're exactly right. You're exactly right, man. Those whole first couple of Jason Aldean albums were so good, though.
Oh, yeah.
They were.
But,
good,
it's,
man.
And it's, the people know there's that love at home, that's just waiting on them to get there and all that stuff.
Yes, sir.
And it just, it blows me away because those are the things that I always wanted in my life, besides the crazy weirdo people that I had.
Well, we all do. We all want that. I mean, I think that's, I only know how to look at the world from the perspective of a man, but I know that most guys I know want to have somebody they can trust and that they, be vulnerable around and provide for. I think men still have that instinct in them to provide for the ones they love.
Right.
But that's what takes you away from home, and that's almost the catch-22. Is it's like, I can either put food on the table or I can be there all the time, but I can't do both. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And see, the one thing that I would add to that is I think everybody wants is just to be appreciated by the one you love.
Absolutely. See, my dad was an electrician. He had two jobs that I remember when we were growing up. He was trying to be a Pentecostal, a Church of God preacher. He was trying to have his own church, but he was evangelizing. In the meantime, he was a traveling preacher. He would go to other churches. He was friends with a lot of pastors.
Right.
He would go and preach in their church. So he was doing that. That was what he really wanted to do. But he had a day job, but he was an electrician for a long time.
Yeah.
And then he quit working as an electrician and went to doing a construction job that had him traveling a lot.
Right.
So from the time I was about 13 years old, my dad started traveling a lot for work. And so maybe there's a little bit of inspiration in there. I never really put the two and two together.
Yeah.
But, maybe this was a song for my dad too.
Yeah, because he was definitely gone a little bit.
Absolutely. Yes, sir.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It is, man.
We got to get off of here, man. Tell everybody where they can find you.
All right, cool. So I'm most active, I'd say, on Instagram. Trey Calloway Music. That's TreyCalloway Music on Instagram. I also have TikTok and Facebook and all that good stuff. Please follow me on Spotify. If you don't follow me anywhere else, follow me on Spotify. I got a lot of music out there, and we're constantly putting out more and trying to do this thing. I need everybody's help out there, and that's YouTube, all the good stuff,
all the fun places.
Yep, it's Trey Calloway Music on all those platforms.
Awesome.
Thank you, David.
Dude, I appreciate it. And you playing this Sunday?
I am. I will be at the local Hendersonville this Sunday at 5:00. I don't know if I'll have my normal fiddle player, but it'll be my guitar player will be with me, and we'll probably get us a sub fiddle player for the night. It'll still be a fun gig.
Yeah, throw me a seat out there. I'll be there.
All right, sounds like a plan, David.
I hope that Julie helps with all the scheduling and everything for me. So
Yeah.
I hope she's listening to this because
That sounds like a plan, buddy. Well, just shoot me a message if you have any questions about it too.
all right. Sounds good, dude.
David,
Try
God bless you, buddy.
I really appreciate you being on. Merry Christmas. God bless you. And we'll see you Sunday.
All right, buddy. Be safe.
All right, brother. We'll see you.
All right, man.